the foreclosure notice is taped to my door. It has my name, my social, my signature, and a different address. At 8:03 a.m. my bank calls to tell me there's a $78,000 home equity loan in my name that I never signed for. Pause. My name is Ava Collins. The woman who stole my life was Maya Rivera, my on-again, off-again roommate for 2 years. We met at a coffee shop in 2019. We shared rent, gossip, and a Netflix account. She knew my birthday, my mother's maiden name, the 4-digit code I used for every dry cleaner. When she asked to borrow my passport for a week in January 2022 to apply for a visa, I handed it over without a second thought. I thought she was my friend. I started getting weird mail in spring 2023. Catalogs addressed to Ava C. would vanish. Small charges showed up on my bank alerts, $49.99 here, $12.95 there, that I didn't make. I shrugged it off. Then, on March 15, 2023, at 8:03 a.m., I got the call from Bank of America. Ms. Collins, this is Jordan with BOA. We have a home equity loan for $78,000 taken out on March 12 under your Social Security number. The application was signed and notarized. My hands were shaking so bad I dropped my phone. My heart felt like someone had taken a fistful of it and squeezed. Pause. I went to the bank branch at 10:20 a.m. The loan officer, a fatigued man named Dan, pulled a paper file and slid it across the desk. There it was, my name. My SSN handwritten in block letters. The signature looked like mine. But the applicant name above the signature said Maya Rivera. The notary stamp read Sunrise Notary, January 27, 2023, 10:16 a.m. The application included a copy of an ID, a driver's license with my name and my photo. Except the little grainy license photo was definitely Maya. That was the turning point. I felt hollow and then furious. How does someone make your life their life without you even knowing? I spent the next 72 hours in paperwork hell. I filed an identity theft report with the police, report hashtag 23-0419. I put fraud alerts on my credit with Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. I called the IRS after an odd letter said a 2022 return had already been filed for me claiming a $6,400 refund sent to a prepaid card I didn't own. I reported the loan to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. At every step the same line kept coming back, we need proof. So I made proof. First, I subpoenaed the public records for the property tied to the loan at 421 Oak Street. The county clerk gave me a packet, application, notary acknowledgement, wire instructions showing $78,000 wired to an account at Unity Credit on January 28, 2023 at 3:02 p.m. The name on the wire beneficiary was M. Rivera. The loan officer's email trail had one message that stuck out: "Congrats, Maya. Closing on January 29, call me when you have keys. Luke Simmons, loan officer." Luke's email timestamp was January 27, 2023, 2:14 p.m. Second, I went social. I dug through Maya's public Facebook. There, January 29, 2023 at 6:41 p.m. a selfie of Maya in front of a small Tudor with the caption, "Finally ours." Hashtag homeowner feeling. The picture had geotag coordinates and a photo of the mailbox, 421. Her friends had commented, "Congrats, Maya." But she'd never posted photos of that house before. She posted the same photo on Instagram with a plate of car keys in her hand. Third, I found the notary. Sunrise Notary's owner, Mark, was hesitant at first but then sent me the notary log. It showed the notarization of Ava Collins' ID presented, State DL DOB April 2, 1990, but the signature line said signed in my presence by Maya Rivera. Mark told me the notary who did that signing had been using a staffing agency, and the notary had since quit. Mark gave me the agency contact and the name of the notary, Teresa Gomez. Teresa's voicemail said she remembered the appointment Tuesday, Jan 27, 10:15 a.m. because it was at a busy coffee shop. She verified she took a photocopy of the ID that day. She emailed the photocopy. It was a driver's license that read, Ava Collins, DOB April 2, 1990, address 17B, Parsons Avenue, with a darker, off-angle photo of a woman that looked a lot like Maya. The ID number matched mine. With this, I had a paper trail, the photocopied ID, the notary log, the bank wire, Luke's email, Maya's social posts. I printed everything, organized it into a 3-ring binder, and then I did something I still hesitate to admit. I played pressure chess. I emailed Luke Simmons and the Unity Credit Compliance Officer the entire binder, scanned and flagged, with subject line, urgent, possible identity theft and forged documents, legal action pending. I CC'd the county clerk, the Sunrise Notary owner, the police detective assigned to my case, Detective Harris, and, crucially, I CC'd Maya. I watched my inbox. At 9:02 p.m., Luke replied, "We will freeze disbursement pending investigation. Thank you for the documentation." At 9:07 p.m., Unity Credit's compliance said they had put a hold on the account. At 9:23 p.m., Maya wrote back to me directly, "Ava, I swear I didn't do anything. I borrowed your passport. Why are you doing this?" My hands were steady when I typed the reply. "You took my passport and used my identity to get a loan and wire $78,000. I have notary logs, your bank wire, and your celebration post. I'm sending this to your employer and your landlord. Answer the police." Maya started to panic. She called me at 9:41 p.m. She begged. She accused. She cried. "Ava, I needed the money. I thought I could pay it back. I never meant to hurt you. I thought because I had your passport I'd be safe. Please don't ruin me." She had already ruined herself. The pressure mounted. On March 20th, I sent a concise packet, the scans, timestamps, screenshots, to Maya's employer, St. Mary's Hospital HR, with the subject, Employment Integrity Concern, Identity Fraud Evidence attached. Within 3 days, HR put Maya on administrative leave pending a federal investigation. I also mailed a packet to the landlord at 421 Oak Street saying that the deed and loan were under federal investigation and that the property transfer was likely void. The landlord froze occupancy claims. By March 25, Unity Credit reversed the wire and flagged the account for fraud. The county clerk pulled the transfer and marked it under review. The police served a search warrant on Maya's apartment on March 29. Detectives found my passport in a hidden drawer. They found a stack of photocopied IDs with different names and a ledger with other social security numbers and dates. Detective Harris told me later, "We think she's done this before. We've arrested her for 2 counts of identity theft and 1 count of bank fraud." The arrest report, 23-0482, listed forged notary acknowledgments and falsified ID documents. Maya was arrested on April 2, 2023 at 7:12 a.m. She had mascara streaks down her face when they booked her. She looked smaller than I remembered. I felt nothing and everything at the same time. Pause. My credit was a mess. The IRS had to reverse the fraudulent return. I spent 6 months on the phone with collections, banks, and the credit bureaus. I paid a lawyer $2,400 to get temporary relief notices and to make sure the records were cleared. Experian finally removed the inquiries and the loan was marked fraudulent on June 14, 2023. The county clerk filed a petition to reverse the deed transfer. The landlord let me keep the foreclosure notice as a trophy, the stamp that said "Void Fraud Investigation." It felt ridiculous to cherish a piece of paper, but I did. Maya pled guilty in September 2023 to 2 counts of identity theft and 1 count of bank fraud. Her sentence was 24 months in federal prison, restitution of $78,000, and 3 years supervised release. The judge read the list of victims off the paper and my name was on it. When she was sentenced, she stared at me through the courtroom glass like she wanted to chew the words off my throat. I stared back until the bailiff moved her away. The victory was clean on paper. The bank reversed the loan. The county struck the property transfer. My credit score rebounded. But it cost me more than money. 2 years of trust evaporated. I moved twice in 2023 because every place I lived felt like a breach waiting to happen. I stopped giving friends my SSN for tax forms. I sleep with the curtains closed because she once knew which of my flights I took. I still have a scar under my left thumb from a box cutter I jabbed into the dining table the night I found the foreclosure notice. I still check my credit every month. People asked why I didn't let the police handle it alone. Why the emails to her employer? Why the social pressure? Because in fraud, momentum is everything. The bank and the county moved because there was an immediate risk of funds disappearing. The employer acted because healthcare licensing and integrity matter. If I had waited for a slow investigation, the wire would have disappeared and Maya would have bought a house in another state and vanished. Was it vindictive? Absolutely. Did it destroy her life? Yes. She lost her job. She lost freedom. She will likely never recover from a federal conviction. I will live with having done that every day. But when someone steals your name and the paperwork that proves you exist, you don't get to play nice. Months later, a mutual friend asked me, "Ava, was it worth it?" I thought of the months on the phone. The lawyer fees. The nights of panic. I thought of my passport in a plastic evidence bag at the precinct and the look on Maya's face in the courtroom. I got my life back on paper. I didn't get my trust back. Pause. If someone you trusted stole your identity and everything that proves you exist, would you look for justice or mercy?